We haven't exactly got off to the start that we wanted here in Season 3 of the Everton Takeover rebuild. After taking 4 points from our opening 2 games in the Premier League, we then lost 3 straight, and we only managed a draw against 10-man Augsburg in our opening Europa League group stage match. There have definitely been some positives early in the season here too, though. Gerard Deulofeu has hit the ground running on his return to Goodison Park, notching 3 goals in just 5 matches so far, and we did absolutely demolish Crystal Palace 5-0 in the last episode. Got 3 games to get to here today, each in a different competition. We'll kick things off with our opening Carabao Cup match of the year against Leeds at Goodison Park, before following that up with another home fixture, this time against Arsenal in the Premier League, and we will round things out with a second straight featured game in the Europa League, this time away to Apoel. The Carabao Cup is easily bottom of our list of priorities this season, so Graham Potter has heavily rotated his side for this one. Bailey Peacock-Farrell, another new signing, gets his first start in goal for Everton. Ebasele makes his first start at right wing back. Then Godfrey James Tarkowski and the new addition of Isak Toure, they will round out the centre-back trio. And James Justin will start at left back today. De Silva and Garner are the pairing in midfield, whilst Jack Harrison and Bertrand Traore support Luca Waldschmidt up front. We got off to the worst possible start in this one. Patrick Bamford gave Leeds the lead early on. It was Bailey Peacock-Farrell in goal rather than Jordan Pickford today, and you could really tell. And it was Ilham Meslier in between the sticks for Leeds at the other end. And again, you could really tell it was a tale of 2 keepers. Leeds number 1 putting in a far better performance than our own. This is one of the better saves that I've seen all series long. Luca Waldschmidt into the box just outside the 6-yard area, but Ilham Meslier made a really good point blank reaction save to prevent the equaliser. So it was a 1-0 Leeds lead at half time, but Reece Nelson did come on after the break, and he made a real difference, cutting in from that left hand side on numerous occasions, this time firing a right footed shot towards goal, which Meslier was again equal to. And we had an excellent chance to equalise from the resulting corner as well, but James Tarkowski unfortunately put his header wide, and that just allowed Leeds to double their lead on about the hour mark. Patrick Bamford again firing past Bailey Peacock-Farrell. Again, the goalkeeper not putting his best foot forward here, you have to say. This is probably one he should have saved. But Reece Nelson continued to cause problems down the left-hand side for Leeds, and we did manage to hit them on a quick breakaway. Lewis Ferguson initially laying the ball into Matthias Cunha's feet. He pulled it across for Reece Nelson, who tapped into an empty net to make it 2-1. And 10 minutes later, we would have the equaliser. Josh De Silva finding Lewis Ferguson on the edge of the box. He drove to the corner of the 6-yard box and fired across Ilham Meslier. Nothing he could do about this one. And both teams were very much committed to winning this game. Matthias Cunha had his chance to do just that, but the shot with the outside of his right foot ended up going just wide of Melier's post. I don't think he would have had this one covered had Cunha got it on target. Reece Nelson did his best to find a winner, but he couldn't put the ball past Ilham Meslier for a second time. And I thought when this header from Isak Toure went over the bar that the last opportunity to win the game was gone. However, a couple of minutes later, Lewis Ferguson twisted and turned his way into a bit of space in the Leeds box and fired past Ilham Meslier to complete the comeback from 2 goals down to 3-2 up, and we would go on to win the game in stoppage time. So a bit of a shaky performance, and particularly for Bailey Peacock-Farrell, who didn't exactly cover himself in glory in his first outing in an Everton shirt. But it was another really good, fun, balanced, competitive game to play. If you haven't checked out my new slider set already, version 5.0, it is up on the channel now. I've been having really good fun games with this set of late, and this was just another one. With the games coming in quick succession now that we are in 4 different competitions, it's really important that we've managed to add this depth over the summer. And it's also going to be really important that we keep on top of these training plans. We're going to have to look to the week and weeks ahead to make sure we know who we want to play in future games and make sure they're fit and ready to go. And a stronger starting 11 is pretty much fit and ready to go for this one. We have had to bring Noah Mbamba into the back 3, and Reece Nelson isn't quite up to full fitness, but it is pretty much the strongest 11 that Graham Potter has available to him, minus 1 or 2 players. As for Arsenal, we are going to have our work cut out for us today, to say the least. Unai Simon starts in goal. Ben White, Jonathan Tah, Urian Timber, and Mendy make up the back 4. It's a really, really strong central midfield three featuring Amadou Onana alongside Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard. Martinelli, Jesus and Saka continue to be the front three for Arsenal. Now, I was tempted to have this as the featured game of the episode since we do have Amadou Onana returning to Goodison Park, but these match facts are exactly why I didn't. We got absolutely blown away by Arsenal. We actually played decently well in the first half. Jordan Pickford made a number of really good saves. Arsenal did dominate, but we defended relatively well and managed to keep it scoreless until the last kick of the game, really. It was a soft free kick, which Saka cracked against the post. Gabriel Jesus put it into the back of an empty net. And we came out with the intention of starting strong in the second half, but instead Arsenal just put the game to bed. Martinelli firing in past Jordan Pickford from close range. And then Kai Havertz got his 7 feet, 12-inch frame onto the ball when it bounced up into the air after an initial excellent save from Jordan Pickford. And then we couldn't prevent Declan Rice from getting on the score sheet late either. It was a well-worked move from Arsenal. Jordan Pickford had a really, really good day. Man of the match performance for us, really. But positioning was a little off on this one. Probably could have done a little bit better. Which does bring us to our featured game of the episode and our first trip to the continent for a European away day. Apoel Nicosia are apparently the most successful team in Cypriot football history. And they did finish the season top of the Cypriot first division in real life this year. But the most famous player that I can find from Apoel history is John Arne Riise, who does seem to have played for the club for a year in 2014. Needless to say, I don't recognize any of their players, but they will line up in a 4-2-3-1 formation, whereas Graham Potter will stick with his 3-4-3 and pretty much the same 11 from the Arsenal game despite their heavy defeat. Isaac Toure, the only change to be made. He comes into the back three alongside Anderson and Ahmed Hodzic. Nathan Patterson and De Kuyper continue at wing back. Stack and Ferguson the pairing in midfield. Nelson and Diao support Cunha up front. So without further ado, let's hop on the plane over to Cyprus, see if we can put 3 points on the board here and see if we can take a big step towards qualifying for the knockout stages of the Europa League. So we are up in the commentary booth in Cyprus. Apoel, the opponents. I've got no idea if I'm saying that correctly. I apologise to any Cypriots if I'm not, or any Apoel fans. Not that I anticipate having any fans of this particular club viewing the video right now. But we are looking to get 3 points on the board for the first time in the Europa League campaign here in Season 3. And really, there should be no excuse for any result other than a win here. We are away from home, but we are a significantly better team. We have an incredibly strong 11 out there. And there's no reason that we shouldn't win this game. There's absolutely no reason. There was no real reason we should have drawn against Augsburg either in the previous game, especially since they were down to 10 men. But Augsburg, a better team, a better caliber of opponent, I would imagine. And so 1-1 in that particular game I'm not too unhappy with. And it's a positive start as Cunha gets a shot away early. I won't be featuring exclusively Europa League games this season, but I did want to feature our first couple. Anderson, can he win it? No, he can't. I did want to feature our first couple. I did almost feature the Arsenal game, but I could just see us losing that heavily. And although it was Onana's return, I thought it'd be more enjoyable to watch a game in full that we win rather than in which we get pretty soundly defeated. And we were soundly defeated. We never really had a chance in the game. We should very much have a chance in this one. There should be some goals being scored. As Apoel come away with the ball on this right-hand side. Nelson trying to win it back high up the field. Same with Anton Stack and Matheus Cunha. A good high press, but it is worked through. Isak is his name. Isak Toure. I'm still confusing myself with Isak Toure and Issa Kabore. As Lewis Ferguson makes a nice run. Reece Nelson can't quite get the pass right. Isak Toure has settled into the back three quite nicely so far. We will give him time to settle in. We're not going to throw him in and expect him to be the everyday starter immediately. Ben Godfrey has been playing. We've been playing Joachim Andersen and James Tarkowski in tandem as well at times. So he'll get an opportunity to settle and to find his feet. But he seems to have been doing that fairly rapidly so far. He's not really made a significant mistake yet. And the only thing I would say about him is that he is maybe not the best with the ball at his feet, but we knew that when we bought him. And we are just hoping that he is young enough to be able to grow and develop and improve in that area. Only 22 years of age. So he does still have plenty of development left to do. Reece Nelson, good run. Found by Maxim de Kuyper. Nelson cuts in onto his right foot. Gets a shot away, but it's wide. But again, a positive start here in the first 15 minutes or so. And I anticipate a goal coming before too long. Toure so good in the air. He's just so monstrously tall, but strong as well, and has excellent jumping. Nathan Patterson crosses in. Matheus Cunha, 1-0. What did I tell you? I said a goal was coming, and there it is. Really nicely worked down that right-hand side. One-touch football. The ball into the path of Nathan Patterson. Really good cross into the box. And a first-time finish on his left foot from Matheus Cunha. Nathan Patterson took several more than one touch. But there are a couple of one-touch passes in there to set him away. And then Cunha's one-touch finish does give us the lead away from home. And if we can get a positive result in the next, I would say, 2 games in the Europa League, then that draw against Augsburg certainly doesn't look as bad. If we can take a point against Augsburg and then beat not only Apoel here tonight, but also Copenhagen, who have taken an early lead in the group, then we'll be in a really good position going forward. Matheus Cunha, can he get there? Not quite. The goalkeeper's done him with a little reverse pass. It was a brave move, because if Cunha gambled, then the goalkeeper would have been in trouble. Reece Nelson collects the ball high up the field and manages to twist and turn his way into the centre of the field. Nathan Patterson is there. Assane Diao. Patterson on the overlap. Nicely worked. Can we find Lewis Ferguson at the near post or Cunha at the back? We can't find either. Heavy touch from Nathan Patterson, but he does manage to hold on to it. Assane Diao now. Anton Stack strikes from range. Parried away by the keeper. Too close to him. But I think there is a second goal in our future here. Probably in the first half. Lewis Ferguson puts in the corner. Cunha couldn't quite win the header. Assane Diao collects though. There's Reece Nelson. He gets a shot away. This time it's blocked. Ball does fall to Anton Stack, who again takes a shot from long range. Again it's blocked. And again it's going to be an Everton corner. Anton Stack, a surprisingly good target for these corners as Cunha makes a run across the near post and is parried away by the Apoel goalkeeper. Try and find Anton Stack in the middle of the penalty area there, and we have found him. Couldn't quite win their header though. Matheus Cunha takes it down onto his left foot. Couldn't quite wrap his foot around it. It was a really good touch in the penalty area and a nice little shimmy away from the defender. And he just needed to wrap his foot around that, wrap his instep around the ball a little more there. And instead is pushed wide. 25 minutes gone though, and it is all Everton. It's what I anticipated, when it has played out that way so far. Assane Diao just about keeps the ball in play, but can't keep possession. And Nathan Patterson is going to have to recover position here, which he does manage to do. It is going to be a throw-in for the opposition though. And they just go backwards. Nathan Patterson again. Good defending to Halt the attack. Not so much from Hassan Diao, though. He gets beaten inside. Can you press in high? And Applewell's certainly committing players forward. Only 2 centre-backs remain. And if we do manage to win the ball back and hit them on the break, especially if we can get the ball into Hassan Diao's feet. Because look at the pace. Look at the pace. Unbelievable pace. Oh, no. We messed it up at the end. Hassan Diao's pace to get away from the defender, but just took too long to pick out either Cunha or Reece Nelson. It does feel like we're going to be comfortable victors in this game, though. This team just do not feel like a challenge, and just behind Matheus Cunha this time from Hassan Diao. We can't get complacent, though. So this team doesn't really feel like a challenge, but those could certainly be famous last words. Good challenge, Lewis Ferguson. Referee does allow play to go on. Seemed like one that referees tend to give free kicks for. It was just shoulder to shoulder, but they love to give free kicks to the CPU for shoulder to shoulder challenges. Anton Stack. Reece Nelson with Matheus. Nope, with Maxim de Kuyper outside him. That's another name that I just continue to get wrong. Matheus Cunha in the box. Cleared by the Applewell defence, though. Lewis Ferguson can't regain possession. Nathan Patterson, however, can. And Hassan Diao's through ball again is just off. Looking for Matheus Cunha in the middle. And, oh, almost stole it away. Again, bodies committed forward for Applewell. And again, we're going to be able to hit them on a quick counter-attack here with Hassan Diao. Again, number 4 is not going to have the pace to keep up. He does have the angle, though. All the way towards the back post where Reece Nelson is there. And I didn't anticipate the ball getting through. I thought the goalkeeper was going to claim that. But he did allow the ball to find its way through to Reece Nelson. And I think it took him by surprise as much as it did me. Just took the touch. And an Applewell player is down, but we are going to play on. Because Nathan Patterson is into the box now. Pulls it back. Again, we can't find either Cunha or Nelson on the pullback. We failed to create a really clear-cut opportunity since we have taken the lead. And we have been causing problems for the Applewell defence. But yet to really make this pressure and this attacking dominance pay. They have really not challenged Jordan Pickford pretty much at all in the game so far. Not sure they've even had a shot on goal, to be honest. We'll try and keep it that way as we do approach the end of the first half. Nathan Patterson again beaten, this time outside. Does well to recover, though. Tries to lay it into the feet of Hassan Diao, and that's where we can't get complacent. We do still just need to deal with threats when they do present themselves. We can't get too cute with the ball in our final third. And we can't be too... We can't have too much of an ego about just clearing the ball. If we need to get rid, then we just get rid. De Kuyper, where are you? Where are you? I just checked the little 2D map at the bottom of the screen, and De Kuyper was right there, and suddenly he wasn't. Oh, De Kuyper is right there to win the ball back, though. Can he thread it through to Matheus Cunha? Just a bit of a heavy touch. And the ball wriggles free. And I thought we would be up by multiple goals at half-time. That's certainly how it felt in the opening 15-20 minutes or so. But it does look like Applewell are going to hold on. Or does it? Anton Stack lays it through perfectly to Matheus Cunha, who puts it wide, and it really should be 2-0 at the half. It really should. Just opened his body up, and again, just couldn't quite curl his foot around it quite enough to put it into the corner of the net. Earlier it was it with his left foot, this time with his right. But on each occasion, unable to find the corner of the net to double the Everton lead. But we do have a lead. We did have a lead, I believe, at halftime in the Augsburg's game. I'm going to have to do a much better job of holding on to this lead than we did in that previous game as we come back out for the second half. So no changes at halftime. And we are going to step up into our attacking game plan, looking to double our lead sooner rather than later in this game. And really make the victory secure. I don't really want to hold on to just a 1-goal lead as we approach the final stages of the game, because that would open up opportunities for just a set piece, just a lucky bounce or deflection to equalise in the game for Apoel. And that's not something I want to see happen. I would rather see Hassan Diao double the lead right after the break. But it's a really good save by the Apoel goalkeeper. And instead, we're just going to have to look for Isak Toure. It's actually to Cunha at the near post. And Anderson cracks it against the far post. Was a narrow angle, but the goalkeeper was absolutely helpless. But Anderson couldn't find the back of the net to double the lead. I really hope we don't come to rue these missed chances. The 2 for Matheus Cunha. The 1 there for Joachim Anderson. And if we do end up coming away with anything less than 3 points in this game, we really are only going to have ourselves to blame. Matheus Cunha. Oh, can't quite get there. It's good defending by the Apoel centre-back. And Maxim de Kuyper is going to put this one in. Anton Stack is there. It is going to be another corner, though. I'm looking for Isak Toure. And it is Toure that we managed to find this time. And he does manage to turn the ball towards goal. Unfortunately, straight at the goalkeeper. He's so imposing in the air. 6'9" is just... How are you supposed to win a header against that? Especially when he has crazy jumping as well. It's a cheat code from corners. I wish you could dictate who is in the box at corners and where those players stand. Because it's really just random. You leave it up to the CPU to just decide where players go. I wish there was a bit more of a bit more control over set pieces in the game. There's Toure again. Can't get there this time. Because the only option you really have is who takes the set piece at the moment. And I guess to some extent, how many players are in the box at set pieces. Although you can't even control that in a granular way. It's just with the sliders in the tactics. Good challenge, Ahmed Hodzic. Lewis Ferguson skips away from a couple of would-be tacklers and just squares the ball to Anton Stack. Reece Nelson with a nice run on the left-hand side, but instead Anton Stack finds De Kuyper, lofts it into the box where Ferguson is there. Cunha on the edge of the box, as is Anton Stack. Just lays it off to Hassan Diao. Twisting and turning, does manage to find Lewis Ferguson. And there's Nathan Patterson. Ahmed Hodzic. And Anderson finds Stack once more. And just driving towards the Apoel penalty area. Trying to find space to get a shot away, but couldn't get one away in time. Oh, De Kuyper with a really good intervention and such a terrible pass from Cunha. Really poor. Hassan Diao was in acres of space. We would have had an easy one-on-one. And Cunha just lays it way too far out in front of him. Nelson finds Cunha once more. He's twisting and turning on the edge of the box. Not enough support. And doesn't arrive quickly enough. Apoel come away with it on their left-hand side. Nathan Patterson doing well to delay the attack, but not to stop it completely. Good challenge, Ahmed Hodzic. And there's Diao once more. Can he cut inside? Yes, he can. Can he lay it in front of Matheus Cunha? Yes, he can. And surely we double our lead now. And Cunha puts it wide again. He could have had a hat-trick. We saw him do that in the previous game. And he's done it again here. And I think he might have to make way for Gerard Deulofeu, because Cunha just does not have his shooting boots on today. 3 incredible opportunities to double the lead. Each probably better than the last. That's certainly the best of the 3. And I thought for all the world we were going to see the net ripple, and it's a good intervention eventually by Ahmed Hodzic, but this is exactly the danger. Applewell could just nick a goal here and all of our chances will be for naught. So a couple of changes for Graham Potter just before the corner comes in. It's going to be Lewis Ferguson and Matheus Cunha to leave the field. Scott McTominay and Gerard Deulofeu, the players to replace them. Reece Nelson heads clear. Joachim Andersen, good challenge on the edge of the box. And Reece Nelson brings the ball away on this left-hand side. Maxim de Kuyper with the run up ahead of him. And it's a well-timed run, and Reece Nelson does manage to find him. De Kuyper just holding it up to allow support to arrive. And it's a rash challenge by the Applewell defender. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a booking for this. And it is going to be a yellow card for Kingsley Sarfo. Probably the right decision by the referee. De Kuyper will take the free kick rather. And we'll just try and put it across the 6-yard box. Reece Nelson is there. Can't quite win the header. Not the best target from those kinds of situations, Reece Nelson. Scott McTominay can't bring it down. Is that a free kick? It is a free kick on the edge of the box. Very, very dangerous position. I don't think we've scored a free kick the entire series so far. It does look to be most ideal for Maxim de Kuyper, I would say. It's fairly central, but it does favour the left footer rather than the right. So we will just try and put it into that top corner. De Kuyper, probably our best free kick taker as well. Oh, and it's just off the head of the wall. That would have been close, I think. The goalkeeper was diving away to that side. But I think he may not have got there. It's got McTominay in the box. Joachim Andersen just heads it back out to Deulofeu. Ahmed Hodzic on the edge, takes a strike, and it's blocked again by the Applewell defenders. Maxim de Kuyper collects. There's Ahmed Hodzic. Switches play to Nathan Patterson. And Toure is there. Anderson. Ahmed Hodzic again. Maxim de Kuyper on this left-hand side. Just laying the ball into Reece Nelson this time. And he's offside, is he? Just. Again, I would say that's level, but these days that's offside. And somehow we are still just 1-0 up in this game. And I am really starting to get worried now. Applewell not really caused us too many issues in the game so far. But all they need is one opportunity. As long as it remains 1-0, all they need is a single opportunity. Great ball from Anton Stack. Nice cross into the box from Maxim de Kuyper as well. Oh, and Reece Nelson almost stealing the ball away in the Applewell box. Nice little turn, though. Just gave me the little fake one way and then went the other. Poor pass from Toure. That's what we mean about him not being great on the ball. We do need our defenders to be able to play the ball out from the back. And there is an area of the game in which he is not the strongest at the moment. Deulofeu almost stealing the ball away. Applewell certainly committing players forward still. And they don't really have anything to lose in doing so. Of course, losing 2-0 is very little different from losing 1-0. So you may as well commit the bodies forward and try and get the equaliser. Reece Nelson skips away from his man on the left-hand side. Doesn't quite have the legs to beat him at this stage of the game. And that might be a change we make next time the ball goes out of play. Reece Nelson off. And I think Lewis Dobbin is the winger on the bench. So potentially we'll look to bring him on shortly. Scott McTominay wins the header. Maxim de Kuyper tries to find Assane Diao quickly on the right-hand side, but gets the pass all wrong. Can De La Feu win it back? Not quite. Scott McTominay does manage to win the ball back though, and Assane Diao is outside him with an opportunity to run at the Apoel back line. And does he have the pace to get into the box? Yes, he does. He's just going to have to fire across the keeper, and Diao does what Cunha failed to do on a number of occasions today, and he does double the lead. That opportunity was significantly worse than each of the three that Matheus Cunha had. But Cunha couldn't find the back of the net. Assane Diao could. And his pace and his strength is just far too much for these caliber of defenders to deal with. And it's a really good finish, to be fair. Had to put it just inside the far post if he was going to beat the keeper, and that's exactly where he did put it. So 2-0 as we approach the last 10 minutes or so of the game. We'll probably make a triple change next time the ball goes out of play now. As De La Feu again tries to steal the ball away, but doesn't quite manage to do so. Good challenge again, Scott McTominay. Ball does fall to Anton Stack. De La Feu to Kuyper. And Reiss Nelson this time is onside. Pass is a little wide. There's De La Feu. The Apoel defenders wanted offside, but that wasn't close to being offside. At least not from what I could see. De La Feu. Back to Joachim Andersen. And there's Toure. De La Feu again dropping deep to pick it up. And now can just drive at the Apoel back line. Can't cut inside though. Last touch took the ball slightly too far away to be able to cut it back onto his left foot. And 2-0 is a bit of an underwhelming scoreline to say the least, but if we can put 3 points on the board away from home in the Europa League, I don't think we can complain too much about the score. And we certainly can't complain about the performance either. It's been absolutely dominant from start to finish. Apoel have barely had a look in. And we have created a number of opportunities. Headed clear. Can Reiss Nelson get there? Yes, he can. And De La Feu with a chance to run once more. I just wanted that run from Reiss Nelson to go outside, and he cut it inside for some reason. It's Maxim de Kuyper though. Can we get one more goal here? De La Feu onto his right foot. There's de Kuyper. Finds Nelson. De Kuyper once more. Anton Stack onto his right foot. Can he get the shot away? Not quite. Really well worked. Really well worked on that left-hand side. But Anton Stack couldn't quite pull the trigger before the defender was in to steal the ball away. And we will just see this game out. We're not even going to get an opportunity to make those final substitutions of the game. As Joachim Andersen puts his foot in and the referee blows his final whistle. And it is a win in the Europa League. Still a long way to go in the competition, obviously. Long way to go in the group stage. Much less the competition as a whole. But I think our position is far more stable now that we have managed to get our first win on the board in the competition. 7 total attempts for Cunha today. He did take 1. But he should have taken at least 2 and probably 3, to be honest. But we won't complain too much. It's a win in and away day in the Europa League. So you've got to be happy. And Copenhagen actually drew with Augsburg, which is probably the best result that we could have hoped for, to be honest. As that does mean that we are top of the group on 4 points. Copenhagen also have 4 points, but we're going to be playing them in our next Europa League fixture. Augsburg stuck in 3rd on just 2 points, and of course Apoel have lost both of their games so far. We do slip slightly in the Premier League, but of course we did lose 4-0 to Arsenal, and that was the only Premier League game that we played in this episode. Arsenal are actually just below us in 16th position despite winning 4-0. They still have a -1 goal difference. I'm not sure how that's happened. And we will be facing Arsenal in the next round of the Carabao Cup next month. However, we have 3 more games to get to in the next episode to round out October 1st. 2 more opportunities to get some points on the board and climb the table in the Premier League. That's going to be a home fixture against Newcastle United, and then we'll travel down to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to take on Spurs, and we'll take on Copenhagen in the Europa League as well. So we'll look forward to that in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.